I'm honored to be here to share my journey on servant leadership. My journey started at a very young age. I was influenced primarily by three people. First, my mother. My mother and father got a divorce when I was 12 years old. And my father ended up moving back to Puerto Rico. I saw my mother working 2 and 3 jobs to support the family. And she never complained. Never complained. In fact, she served more than our family. She served people that were homeless. She served people that had mental illness, including my sister and some of her boyfriends. She served other family members, and she served my friends. I remember my friends coming over who were hungry, and we would have one pork chop left and rice and beans, and we would share that pork chop and rice and beans. And my friends loved my mom. One, because she was such a great cook, but two, they loved her heart and her service. So through my mother, I learned that we weren't poor. We just didn't have money. I also learned what it means to be a true servant leader. The second person who had a major influence in my life was Eddie. He was the person that bullied me when I was 9 years old, that led my father to taking me to the gym, where I became a champion boxer. 7 times, 7 different weight classes, traveling all over the world with the United States national boxing team. And in 1992, I was favored to go to the Olympics, but I lost to a guy I knocked out in the first round for the U.S. Championship in 1993, in fact, 5 months later. During that time where I lost in the Olympics, I was searching, and I ended up finding God, December 27, 1992, when I bought my first Bible. I felt this joy, this peace, and this love that at the time the world wasn't providing me. And I decided, after a year of prayer and discernment, I decided to give up the sport. It's the hardest decision I ever made in my life. But that same dedication, determination, and discipline it took me to be a champion boxer is the same dedication, determination, and discipline. I strive for excellence in everything that I do, whether it be as a husband, as a friend, or a professional in my career. I'm striving for excellence in everything that I do. And I also learned about the honor of serving my country with integrity, with honor and responsibility. Lastly, my coach, Israel Acosta, who was a coach and kind of a second father to me. In fact, I lived with him when I was 16 years old for about a year. And there he provided me with structure and guidance, and taught me how to be a champion, not only inside of the ring, but outside of the ring. And my coach also taught me how to put other people first, because my coach put me first. Instead of going on vacation, he spent time with me. Instead of a meeting he was in the gym with me training. So I learned that. These experiences were foundational to my servant leadership journey. I also learned throughout the years, read books from influential leaders such as Jesus, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, and Mother Teresa. And I admired their humility, their commitment to people, and their results. I would like to share with you an experience I had when I was Director of Health and Human Services for Milwaukee County. This was an organization that needed healing. They were constantly in the paper with deaths that were occurring within the hospital system, and staff were just frightened. This was an organization that needed leadership, foresight, and stewardship. The first thing I wanted to do is surround myself with a solid team of individuals that were going to move this organization forward, and made those changes. From there, this team wanted to develop a leadership philosophy that we can espouse and hold ourselves accountable to, and move forward with results. And at first, we started on a journey of servant leadership. There were several of us within the leadership group that resonated with servant leadership. But as we're going on that journey, there was a couple within the leadership team that didn't feel comfortable with servant leadership. They felt that there were religious connotations to the philosophy that made them feel uncomfortable. So we did a little persuasion, but unfortunately it didn't work. The team didn't want to move forward. The team as a whole did not want to move forward with servant leadership philosophy. So we looked at servant leadership, authentic leadership, and transformational leadership, and developed our own leadership philosophy. In one word, it's leaders. The acronym stands for lead by example, E, engage employees, A, approachable, D, drive mission, vision, and values, E, employee engagement, R, risk-taking, and S, serve. As you can see, there's a lot of servant leadership principles embedded in there, but this is the leadership philosophy we created while we were at the county. From here, employees led an award-winning Do the Right Thing campaign that was guided by these principles. These efforts led to turning multi-million-dollar deficits into multi-million-dollar surpluses, serving more people with more dignity and better outcomes. Through this experience, we learned the virtues of self-control and to maintain a positive attitude in the midst of a very polarizing environment, very political environment, very divisive environment. We also learned the virtue of fortitude, to fight, to do the right thing, even when it's hard, even when they question your integrity, even when they say you're dishonest. You fight to do the right thing. And we learn about humility. This is a thankless job, but we were in these roles to make sure that we can fulfill the mission of Department of Health and Human Services. These experiences have led me to the call of leading Lutheran Social Services of Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. Here again, I wanted to surround myself with top leaders, and I actually brought two people from the county along with me, Randy Ozak, who's our Chief Financial Officer, Michelle Naples, who's our Chief Integration Officer, and other team members that are here with me today are Joe, Melissa, Angie, and Sydney. I think I have everybody. Did I miss everybody? And Tara. I wish that these are all great, humble servant leaders. I wish I could use my 10 minutes talking about them, because these individuals are truly extraordinary. We started off by asking 5 questions. What are the biggest challenges the organization is facing? Why are we facing those challenges? What are some of our biggest opportunities for growth? What do we need to do to exploit those opportunities? And if you were me, what would you focus your attention on? We gained lots of great information from those, lots of insights from those 5 questions that led us to developing a strategic plan that was based on 4 pillars: becoming a workplace of choice, a partner of choice, financially viable organization, and creating an integrated business model. From there, we co-created a new vision, mission, and values. We took a 5-month process. Mission, vision, and values is what drives you to work each and every day, what brings purpose from your heart. And it's also an opportunity for us to get to know each other on a deep emotional level. And we went through a 5-month process. We involved our boards, we involved our stakeholders, our staff, and most importantly, we involved the people that we serve. And our new vision is to create healthy communities filled with people using their God-given gifts to serve. And our mission is to act compassionately, serve humbly, and lead courageously. And our values are compassion, courage, co-creation, and change. We also increased our engagement activities, had more focus groups and more surveys, and just were present with our staff, asked them for their feedback, asked them questions, and listened. We also had a little fun. We did scavenger hunts and we participated in a corn maze and other activities that allowed us to have fun, to laugh with each other, and to really get to know each other on a more deeper personal level. I'd like to share a story with you. After one of our engagement events, this individual came up to me and shook my hand in Wittenberg, Wisconsin, and started crying. She wanted to express herself, but she couldn't. So she shook my hand one more time and started crying again. and she started walking away. And before she walked away or left, I wanted to make sure I got her name, because whatever she was so emotional about, whatever she was so thankful for, I wanted to make sure that we could keep doing that more and more. And so I ended up setting up a call with her in the next couple of days, and she told me she was thankful for three things. The first thing, she said, thank you for involving us, for asking for our feedback, for having a conversation with us, for getting our input. Two, she said, thank you for all of the great changes that are occurring within the organization. Many of these changes probably should have happened long ago. Thank you for having the courage to move these initiatives forward, because she felt that this was going to take us into the future. And she said, thank you for the transparent and frequent communications. Our organization is going through a major transformation right now. We're going through a major structural reorganization where we're collapsing 5 divisions to 3. We're innovating and starting new programs that's going to take our organization to new heights, I believe, in the years to come. We've divested of $4.6 million of poor performing programs. All of these efforts have led to great results. We're meeting our quality goals, our retention goals, and we're going through a huge fiscal turnaround. If you look at the last 6 years in a row in this organization, we haven't met a budget, and we've lost $14 million over that 6-year period. I've been with the organization a year and a half now. Our first year, we budgeted at a $500,000 loss. Right now, we're projecting to be 50% above budget, so we'll meet and exceed our budget. These results would dispel the notion that servant leadership approaches may not be entirely suitable for organizations in the midst of conflict and large-scale change. That's a quote you can find directly from the internet. When I share this quote with Dick, he would say, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. So now we want to continue on our journey, let me see, to operationalize servant leadership. And so using this framework, we want to embed these principles into our onboarding, into our performance evaluations, into our recognition efforts, and more. But most importantly, through our example. So we're going to ask ourselves, how are we going to live out these values to bring out the best in ourselves and our staff? How are we going to live out these values to bring out the best in the people we serve? And how are we going to live out these values to create healthy communities filled with people using their God-given gifts to serve? I am so excited to be on this journey on servant leadership. I consider myself fairly new, but I'm so excited because I know that I'm going to grow personally as well as professionally through the influence of my staff, our organization, as well as the people we serve. Thank you.